Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurship Decoded. I'm so excited for you guys to meet Gia today. I just met her on Instagram. She just had some great advice. She's so awesome, and I just wanted to pull her on here to get so you guys can get to know her story, and how she became the person she is today. So Gia, how are you doing today?
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I'm doing pretty well. I got a pretty good early morning, so I try to wake up at like 5:30 every morning. Well, for the last 2 weeks, I have been and work out, walk my dog, eat, drink water. So it's kind of my little routine now, but everything's pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I do the same thing. I try to wake up early, 5:30, just get everything going in the mornings. I'm definitely a morning person. I cannot stay up way too late. I
Same.
can't. I don't get people
Yeah. Like 10, I'm like,
right.
like I'm ready to go.
So I definitely agree with that. That's so awesome, though.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I love that you're doing this today.
Yeah, it's not many people that wake up that early. So that's good. Yeah.
I think that's just the way to start a successful day or a successful life, just to kind of be that what's the word? Sacrifice some little things, wake up early and
Right.
get things done.
Yeah. Start your morning when everybody else is asleep.
Totally agree with that. That's so
A
awesome.
head start, yep.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So I love to, for anyone listening, watching, just to hear your story. I love to show people kind of just the transparency of what you went through, sacrifices, obstacles that you had faced, like your starting entrepreneurship journey, and then how it kind of just led you to where you are today.
Well, so where do I start? No. So I'm from California, Rancho Cucamonga, California, and I lived there like 20 years of my life. Went to college out here in LA, Cal State LA. It's like East LA. And I was a biology major, and I am not well versed in science nor math. So I don't know what made me decide that I wanted to be a doctor, but I did that for like 2 years, and then my GPA was dropping. Everything was just kind of going wrong at that time. Like I was dorming, and like I couldn't afford the payments, and it was just like everything had happened at once. And so my dad's side is from Texas, so every holiday I go and visit them, and they were like, we can support you, like you have family here, like why don't you like come down here, like move to Texas. And like they always try to get me to move there, so I was like whatever. But at that time, it was like the right time. And so I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just apply. If I get in, then I'll go. And so I wasn't really thinking anything of it. And so I applied to University of Houston. And before they accepted me, they said, like, you can't apply as a biology major, or you can't get in as a biology major. But if you change your major, then you can get into the school. And so I changed it to psychology. And I didn't really know what psychology was at the time because I hadn't taken it in high school. And so I was just like, well, this sounds interesting. Let's give it a try. So, long story short, I got my degree in psychology, and I loved it. I didn't realize that I had that like interest and curiosity. So right after college, I got a job as a behavior therapist. And so I was working with kids with autism and just trying to, figure out where I wanted to be in my field because I liked kids and, behavior is psychology. So I thought that was smart. And it was for a while. But after about 3 months, I was just kind of like stuck in a rut. And I was like, is this really what my life is supposed to be like? Like, I don't want to continue. Like, I was literally waking up. I had a personal trainer at the time. So I was working out. I'd go to work, come home, make dinner, and watch Netflix. Like literally that was my day for 3 to 6 months. And I was like, there has to be something else. So around that 6 month mark, I decided to move back to California and stay with my mom. And when I was telling her that I was going to come back, she was like, well, you need to get your finances together. Like, You can't just come and like mooch off me. So she was like, you need to sit down with this company and get your stuff together. So I was like, okay, whatever, like, all right. I was kind of like brushing it off. And then we actually got into like a little argument that day because I was supposed to be in the meeting with her, and I didn't know about, like, I had forgot or something, and she was like, no, you're getting on, da da da. And so I got on the meeting and at first I was kind of like, why am I here? Like, I don't want to listen to this. And then halfway through, I was like, this is actually really good information. And so I just kept listening, and then I became a client of theirs. And over time, I just kept asking questions. I was like, well, how does this work? And what does this do? And they were like, well, we're going through like a hiring process. We're trying to, we're expanding. We need new team members to train. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, sure. I'll, have an interview or whatever. And so that's kind of where the journey started. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into at the time. But it was kind of like a learning process because everybody's independently contracted in the company. So it took me a while to piece together that it's not really like a job, it's a business. It's like you invest in yourself, everything, like there's no quota to meet, so everything is up to you. Like, it's commission based, results based, but there's kind of like a saying in our office where it's like commission is the best type of pay because it's literally like no cap. Sorry, let me turn my do not disturb on. But that's basically how the journey started. Challenges every day is starting off, just because I guess I didn't really have any real jobs growing up. I worked at Party City. That was like my first ever job. And then all throughout college, I was a babysitter, or I did like sports management type jobs. So it was like event type jobs. So I only worked if there was an event. And I liked that. It was fun. But I never really had a work ethic, I don't think, because everything's like fun for me. So if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And so I feel like with anything, you kind of have to set aside the fun sometimes and just kind of like work through it. And then the fun is the result. So, that's basically my story.
Great story. And how you said that you went through all that, you kind of had to go through, figure out what you wanted to do. So you left Los Angeles and went to Houston and then back. And then
Yeah.
it's totally, being an entrepreneur or even just starting a business, either if it's like a 1099 or a contractor, that whole process, that mind shift you have to do to really, instead of being an employee, you're employed yourself. So that's,
Yeah.
I had to just figure that out. So what was kind of the thought process, or what enabled you to actually change that mindset to, help invest in yourself and grow personally?
Books definitely help. And then also having like supportive people around you. I think that one thing that the system that our office runs, one thing that stands out is that everyone is like eager to help, because starting off, like, nobody really knows what they're doing. That's with anything. Like, you start any business, you're not really sure like how you're like, it's kind of a you go with the flow type of thing. And then the more you practice, the more you learn. So really just having people around you that support you, and people with the same mindset. I'm not going to say I lost a lot of friends, but I definitely like distanced myself from people who I didn't feel like were benefiting me. Because, when you start anything, you want support. So you reach out to family, friends, strangers, anybody. Like, you have to market yourself somehow. And so just hearing like how some people thought about, what you're doing, or, how, just their own opinions, and then kind of projecting it on you. It's like, oh, well, we've been friends for this long and you think X, Y, and Z, like it shouldn't be that way. So you run into a lot of little things like that, but I think it's important to grow, because seeing that that disconnect is growth in itself. Like you know where you're going, or you're like, on a path to knowing where you're going, or and then you can see like how you can see the different types of people that there are. And so I feel like even though I'm I'm still learning, like even to this day, like it's always a constant journey, and you just have to fall in love with the journey. And I feel like everybody says that, but it's so true. Like you just have to figure out, what about it is that you love, and keep going, keep doing that.
Oh yeah, you said that perfectly. And how, like you said, distance away from your friends. I think if the people around you aren't willing to grow, that's inevitable to happen. So
Right.
I think when we want to grow, we want to be better as a person. We need to surround ourselves by people who want to run with us, who want to take that leap to continue growing instead of just, staying like doing the same things every single day. So I think it's
Exactly.
really awesome you had to do like you did that, and even though it was probably really difficult just to do that and figure that out, but yeah, more power
Yeah.
to you, definitely.
Yeah, some things need to be done, like kind of like that constant nagging, like, okay, like you put yourself in that same situation knowing that like what the situation is, and eventually you get tired of it. So
Yeah, definitely. Love that. Okay. So, I guess throughout what you've been doing, what have been just the motivating factors? Like you said, you would have like your family, friends, but I mean, if they weren't there, if you had other struggles they can really deal with, what motivated you to just keep going, keep learning, keep growing?
yeah, I think everybody's in a different situation. Sometimes you're in it by yourself, sometimes you do have support. So I would just say, I guess back to the like find what you love thing, and just like kind of go all in with that. Like I think if you have to turn to yourself, like if you're the only person that you can count on, that you can bet on, then you have to do certain things. Like you have to know what you like and what you enjoy, so that when you do run into situations like, or like negative situations with family or friends or whatever, that you can kind of flip that and do something that can like turn it positive. So like if I just met with a friend and they're like, "Oh, you're trying to sell me milkshakes. I don't want to do that." Like so you're in this space like, "Well, dang, like I was just trying to help, like I believe, whatever." And so you kind of have to like, I don't know, go take yourself out to eat. Like at least you had a meeting, like, you have to think about the positive aspect of things. Like there's always going to be negative, there's always going to be positive. You just have to remember that. So whatever way, if taking yourself out to eat is your way of enjoying something, then do that. If reading is how you do that, if you want to walk on the beach, I don't know, and it might take a while for you to even figure that part out. But once you do, I think that's kind of how you switch that when you have like nobody else in your corner, because all you can bet on is yourself. You don't want to give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself. So that's what I would say, go inward.
Yeah, that's definitely, I guess, the biggest motivation we can be is to ourselves. And
Mhm.
it's great to have that support, but not a lot of people do. And it's
Exactly.
very unfortunate for that. But like you said, if you find that motivation, you focus on the positive instead of the negative, it can really change your mindset and give you that
Mhm.
perspective to make those right decisions, even if
Yeah.
it seems risky or that all that kind of stuff. So, what exactly? I'd love for you to explain exactly what you do now, and then just what's the best part about what you do and how you provide value for people.
Okay. I did want to add something, because I just remembered Facebook groups. Also, if you have nobody else to turn to, Facebook groups, look up what you're doing and find some friends. But okay, so you said, what am I doing now? And then what else?
Yeah, so like what do you do, and then just like what's your favorite part about it, how you bring value to people, and what you love about
Okay. So I am with a company called World Financial Group. So we are a financial brokerage, and we basically have a whole bunch of financial institutions on our platform, and we're able to provide services to people who need financial help. So like Nationwide is a pretty popular one. Prudential is kind of popular. Northwestern Mutual, just like a few companies on our roster. um, so essentially, I just find out people's goals. I sit down with people, show them what we do, find out what their personal goals are, and then basically I customize a plan to get them to whatever goal that they're trying to achieve. So most people want, financial freedom, retirement. So I help people with that, but some people are stuck in debt. So sometimes I help people with that. Anything having to do with money, I basically have access to. I do have specialties, but if I can't do it, then I know somebody who can. um, and I guess the most like fulfilling part is seeing the change in people's lives, or not even seeing the change, but having people recognize that you're changing their life. So like you hear all kinds of testimonies and stories from people. Like one of the things that we do is life insurance. So like you hear all these stories about like, I was going to cancel my policy and like the next day I got diagnosed with cancer, or like, just like these crazy things. And it's like, I'm so glad that I didn't, because I wouldn't have gotten this. Or like when you pay out, people are, crying at the funeral, but then you get a check for $4 million. So it's like, that's a total like generational change. Or people in debt, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And in like a year, they're like, oh my goodness, like I'm debt free. Like that's huge. So just being able to hear from people themselves that like what you did affected them so like in a in such a huge way. I think that's like the best part about it. And when people recognize that, because not everybody does. So, like you recognize it, like I know what I'm doing, but do you understand what I'm doing? So when people get that, it's like, oh my gosh, I know I'm doing something right?
No, that's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
I, I would imagine that's a really fulfilling job to have, just to have people, even, yeah, like you said, even if they don't realize it, I think, like you said, it's still something that you can take and say, okay, I help these guys take out debt, or have financial freedom when they retired, or got them that check when someone died. Even though
Yeah,
it's unfortunate that stuff like that happens. So
exactly.
that's definitely really awesome that you're able to do that, provide value for people in that way. So I'm curious. So you talked about you moved back with your mom, and then you're doing what you're doing now with the financial services. What led you to that position in life that just
Um, well, there was many um originally moving from Houston, I was going to move back in with my old roommate that I went to Cal State LA with. But I decided not to. Actually, she's the one who was like, maybe you should kind of like save up, stack your money. Like if you want to, you should consider moving with your mom. And like that was not even a thought. And so I was like, okay, I guess. And so she's actually the one who put it in my head. And so I've been back with my mom for like 2 years now. And there's been a few times where I'm like, I gotta go. But even in like, my support system, they always encourage like, if you have that luxury, because technically it is a luxury. Like not everybody can move back in with their parents. Like some parents don't want their kids home. So like everybody's situation is different. So they're like, it's really a luxury depending on your situation. So if you can do that, then that's what you should do. Because I mean, for us and being in finance, they always say you have to do two things. You have to what do they say? you have to, I might be getting this wrong, but they say you have to save money and you have to look like money. So, I mean, I don't look like money today, but um like basically you got to like ball on a budget. So, you got to look nice, you have to appear nice, like buy clothes, like have a nice car, but also be smart and like save up like more money than you spend. So I just kind of I guess took that to heart. And so I mean, like, I have a great, I'm proud of my net worth. And but kind of I'm still working on the appearance part because I'm so like chill and like but being a girl, I'm still learning about makeup. I'm still like, doing all of that. But I think I just yeah, I've just been uh I've been saving my money, and um I only buy like food. That's literally what I splurge on, food. That's basically it. I'm working on my car, but my plan at the end of the year is to get my own place. So that's like my next big purchase.
That's really smart. And like you said, living on a budget, or even if like, I think most people who are successful or have money, they're chill. You don't even know that they have money. So it's like you're
Yeah,
paying the part. So you
right. Sweatpants and a briefcase.
totally go together.
Right, exactly.
It's awesome that you're able to just be disciplined enough to take the money, invest it in yourself, save, and
Mhm.
just plan for the future. Because not a lot of people will do that because it's more on impulses and emotions. They want something right now instead of thinking
Yeah.
how it'll
Especially
affect.
our generation, like everything is like name brand this, I got this, money, money, money. Like, well, how much are you saving? Like, if I look into your bank account, how much is in there? Do you even have a savings account? Like, people, I think we're so into the now, we don't ever think about the future. Like, you want, I mean, and I used to be this way too. And I mean, I still have things to work on, but it's like you have these goals and these dreams, but you don't have a plan to get there. And it's like, okay, yeah, you might be ambitious because you see yourself at this level, but like, can you see yourself at this level? Can you see yourself at this level? So it's a work in progress. And if you're not working actively towards this, then you're sabotaging yourself.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. And yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of people I think, are afraid to dream big because they can't see that end result, just because they can't see those steps. So I think that's
Yeah.
really great what you said, where if you can imagine yourself at those steps, it's way more likely to get to that big ambitious goal. So
Right.
really
Yeah.
awesome. I'm curious. You have dollar bills on your wall. I'm
Oh
wondering
yeah.
what's the significance about that, just real quick.
Well, so this is from these are like promotions, I guess. So the first is the first time I hit $1,000 in cash flow. So it's like a fake $1,000 money. And then the second one is a Snoop Dogg $100 bill. I don't even, my mom got it somewhere. I think she went to like a concert and got it. So and then this is just my promotion plaque. And then I tried to dress it up with some other, I'm still working on my office space, but for now, this is what I got. I have a dream board, but it's kind of like, it's not as pretty as I like it. And then I have like a little schedule, like sticker whiteboard thing, but yeah, it's not like in the frame, like to the side.
Ah, that's so cool though.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question, just from everything you've learned from just the journeys that you've been on and what you see yourself being, taking those steps, what would your advice be for people who want to start something or are afraid to, or are like in their own obstacle in their journey already? What would your advice be to those types of people?
So I just watched a podcast with Tony Robbins. By the way, I love Tony Robbins. And ooh, oh my gosh, I forget her name, but she started Spanx. I don't know if you're familiar. I used to work at Nordstrom, and it's like hosiery for women, but it's in like this red box. It stands out. And so the I think her name is Sarah. Ooh, I'm so embarrassed that I can't remember her name. But she said, and it stuck with me. She was like, because people always ask her, "How do you find your passion?" Because they say like follow your passion, and you won't have to worry about money. And I'm still kind of working on the passion part. I think I have an idea. But she said the answer to finding your passion is what makes you cry. That's usually like what you're passionate about. And I was like, wow, that's deep. Like, what makes you cry? So I guess that would be my advice. Like, whatever makes you feel so, like, if someone were to talk bad about something to you, and you, like, it made you feel some type of way, you don't have to cry, but like, if you feel so strongly about this thing, then kind of go deep into that, and then whatever you can make of that, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter if you mess up, like, because 9 times out of 10, the fact that you're doing it, someone else is thinking about it. So as long as you're putting out the content, you're doing, X, Y, and Z, whatever it looks like, you just do it, because you're gonna get better the more you do it. Like, you'll know what you like, what you don't like. Even if you don't post it, just make videos. Make a 30-second video every day, one video every day, and you see, look back at it, and then say like, oh man, like, over a whole month or 2 weeks, like, I feel like I've grown, just little things like that. So I just say, find one thing, find a routine that you can stick with, find one thing a day that you can stick to. And then 2, figure out what your passion is, what you care about, what you like, learn about yourself. Because it's easy to say like, oh, I like to eat, I like to, go to the park, but like, what gets you out of a negative mind state? Like, these are questions that I had to ask myself that I didn't answer until like months later. So you just have to continue to ask yourself those questions. And if you don't know what questions to ask yourself, start with what do you like? What do you like to do? Write down 10 things. And then, why do you like those things? I don't know. But I guess that would be my advice. Find out what you love, and find out a way to stick, find out a way to benefit from it, to have others benefit from it. Not you. I mean, you too, but others.
No, that's awesome. I love how you said just start, and that's basically like 95% of it. Just doing it first off. It doesn't matter if it sucks. I mean, it's actually fun if it sucks, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like no one's watching at the beginning. So like when you actually get
exactly, that's so true. Nobody's watching. Nobody really cares. I mean, people are watching, but it's like your friends. Like, you've done more embarrassing things in front of your friends than you're posting. And then you see the growth. Like, people like to see a journey. And I learned that from a few people, but like, people want to see the journey. Like, they want to see the growth. So you got to start somewhere.
Yep. I completely agree. That was really awesome. Okay. That was great. I love that, Gia. Anyone listening or watching, any of Gia's information is down below in the description. So if you want to get to know her, know more of her story, she seems pretty awesome. So I'd love for you guys to check her out. So if you guys do that, you guys know what I promote, my retail store, and then also just all these episodes. Next week will be more consistent. Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be all interviews, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday will be mini-series on different topics I learn in the process of my own journey. So that's just what I'm doing this week. So thank you, Gia, again. I really appreciate you coming on, and I love spending time with you today.
Thank you, Alex. It was so much fun doing this with you. Appreciate